So you're thinking about being an eBay reseller and you're considering your options and you don't know the ins and outs or what is expected or what to do first. Well, I'm Elizabeth and I am now an eBay reseller. So let me give you some backstory and give you a little more information that will help you on your journey and maybe help you decide whether or not you want to go into being a seller on eBay or even doing it amateurly. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of the whole eBay reseller adventure. Well, first of all, I began my eBay adventure back in like 2002 by simply purchasing on eBay. I would go on there and I would bid just like everybody else. As time went on, I decided I needed to sell some items that were no longer being used in my home. They were just something that I had purchased and it was next to new or really nice. And I thought, okay, let me try selling that. So I had sold a few things over many, many years. And then my mother had needed some assistance with paying prescription medication. She had a few items that were collectibles. I posted those and I sold them just as a normal consumer selling an item. And that's generally how most people who are considering eBay or get into eBay, that's generally where their journey started. And you may have never even heard of eBay, but it's ebay.com. And anyone can have an account with them. You can synchronize it with your Google and it will automatically sign you in, and there you have your account. Now, most of the time, as a beginner, eBay will advertise to you and entice you by saying you can list 250 items for free or so many items for free. And that's to start your reputation so that you build up some kind of reputation and rapport within the eBay. And that helps a lot of people. That helps sellers and it helps buyers. So you as a brand new consumer just going to eBay to shop around and maybe purchase something for a great bargain. And a lot of people know eBay because it started out as an auctioning app, a website rather, in the beginning. And you would bid your items there. You would put them on auction and people could bid over those over a period of time. It could be 3 to 7 days, which is pretty commonplace, 7 days. And you would set your levels of how little you were willing to accept all the way up. And then, of course, you could or could not charge shipping. Most time you charge shipping. And the way that worked is you'd actually have to wait for people to mail you a check to pay for the item. And then, of course, make sure it cleared and then ship it out. And then as things progressed, people would begin actually just selling their item as always. But the bidding thing has kind of fell to the wayside. There is still some auctioning going on eBay, but nothing like it was before. With modern times and things changing in social media as it is, now you can truly go on there and shop for bargains, and most consumers can come out really, really economically and save a lot of money purchasing items from eBay. So you're thinking about being a seller and you want the facts. Okay, here are the facts. As a regular consumer, you can post items on there. But I would employ you to make sure that you check and see what items that you have in mind that you would like to put on eBay to sell may be selling for. And eBay has lots of tools on the app. You can use your cell phone, you can use your tablet, and of course you can use your desktop, laptop, and check out that item and do a generalized search, how people would look for that item and see what others are selling it for. Also, very, very carefully, meticulously pay attention to the shipping costs. The reason why I say this is, for example, I'm in North Carolina. If I'm going to ship to Texas, number one, it costs more. And number two, it takes longer. If I'm going to sell that item to someone in Florida, well, it's the average time and the costs are fairly reasonable. If I'm going to send it to California, once again, it is going to cost a little more and it's going to have to go further, so it's going to take a little longer. And this is where a lot of people really truly get confused and they lose money and they get into situations and of dread and just so much down throttle regret and negative opinion and feedback on that, because you truly can get into a situation to where you have this item, you put it up for sale, You underestimated the shipping, and now it's costing you to sell it. And therefore, you have to weigh your time, energy, effort versus just plain donating it and getting rid of it. So there are some ins and outs, but I'm here to cushion that fall for you just a little bit by taking away some of those concerns. Number one, eBay is now calibrated and set into place, just the most wonderful features. And now you can have calculated shipping. So you as a consumer can list an item. Make sure you measure it, plug in those measurements, and weigh it. And you will get an accurate, calculated shipping idea of what that cost is going to be for you to ship it out, irregardless of where it's going, as long as it's within the 50 states. If you decide to do international selling, eBay handles all that for you. So if you wanted to ship it internationally, outside of domestic, they will handle that, and they will automatically calculate the shipping for the additional cost for it to go there. The only thing you need to concern yourself with is making sure you have accurate measurements, accurate weight, plug it into the listing, and therefore it will calculate for the person who is interested in purchasing or may view it. Some other things to keep in mind. Whenever you are posting your item, there are three things that are the most vitally important. We've already covered the most alert primary priority importance is size and weight, okay, of where it is going to. Make sure that you have valid information in your settings for eBay, such as your address, where it is coming from. That is so important. Now, that's not going to be revealed to anyone who is viewing your listings. They will not have that information until you actually print a label and place it on the package for it to ship out. And that is because USPS or any shipping agency by federal law requires that, because if they are insuring your package and they mail it or ship it somewhere and it cannot reach its destination, the insurance clause means that they have to send it back to you with no extra cost because it has already been calculated into the price of that shipping. So we want to make sure that we have accurate information so that if that item doesn't reach its destination, it at least comes back to us and we have an opportunity to correct it and get it back out again. And you can cross that bridge if that ever occurs. The main thing is to make sure you've crossed all your T's and dotted all your I's and put your Y's where they belong before you go forward. So if you've already signed up for your eBay account and you've already established your address and who you are, that is going to be verified through eBay, and you've already got that set in place. Now you have your account. Now it's a matter of looking around on eBay and checking and comparing your item to those like it or similar to it. Now, it may be that you find an item that's similar to yours but not identical to yours. This is very key in understanding what your item may or may not sell for. And that pricing is super important for you and your benefit, but also for the person who may be interested in purchasing it. So there are things that you can turn on in the settings that will allow you to take offers on that item, or they can buy it now, or perhaps they can give you a better offer. And you can also turn on and off counter offers in there. Now, I know that all sounds complicated, but trust me, there is onboard self-taught, follow the steps, clickety click, and you're ready. So do not even overthink this thing. Don't get too analytical. You really truly want to start out with your basics. So what do you sell? Easy to solve that problem. Well, just as I exemplified, you may have an item in your home that you purchased, you're no longer using, and you feel that someone out there could benefit from it. That's the first thing you look up. And then maybe you have a handful of items. Now, you're not ready to start listing just yet. You are simply doing research. Just like any good student, do your homework. Check that item thoroughly. See what it sells for. Is it listed? How do they name it? How's it titled when they list that item on eBay? What does it commonly sell for? eBay will give you all the averages. They have metadata on that item, and that metadata will be able to give you a base. It doesn't do it for all the items, but if it is a common item that is really truly regularly on eBay and they have data for it, they'll be able to give you that information when you get ready to set the price in your buy now feature. And then on there is called an allow offers. You can toggle that on and off depending on what you have in mind. So we have now erased some of the concerns and those things that may, stress you out and think, oh my gosh, this is too complicated. This is too scary. No, it's not. You're a grown up. You know how to do this. You know how to drive real well. So now it's just a matter of reading, paying attention, pondering the information, and then making a move. I would recommend pick something that you don't have a whole lot of money wrapped up in it and you're not like way over the top concerned about a big return on it if you put it up for sale. This will give you a test drive. For example, if you have an item such as, let me give you a great example. I had a keyboard. It was an ergonomic Wave keyboard by Microsoft, and it was a fantastic keyboard. I had updated a lot of the devices in my home because I'm on social media and I do reselling, I do live sales, and I also have a regular channel where I do it yourself projects and I teach online as well. So I had to update my equipment. When I did, I went with wireless keyboard. This keyboard was next to new. It was ergonomic and it's a very expensive keyboard. So if someone had to buy that new, they would have to fork out a little bit of money. But if they were buying it used, softly used, in great condition, and also calculating that they would have to pay shipping for it to come from me to them unless I offered it for free shipping. On your beginning, I do not ever, ever, never recommend that you offer free shipping. It's very important that you become accustomed and understand the shipping and how it works. So it's important that you go ahead and charge shipping with the item that you plan to list in your beginning. As you become seasoned and more knowledgeable about how the platform works and how things sell and how the buyer responds and reacts to the items that you list, you can then make a better analysis of whether you should offer free shipping or charge shipping. And then you can make that decision then. But at this point, we just want to gather intel and learn the ins and outs first. So let me get back to the keyboard. I knew that when I looked this keyboard up on eBay, I'm still new. So what was fortunate for me is I'm actually typing in what I would put in the search bar to find that particular keyboard. And what was apparent to me is that I got a list of the list populated. I had plenty of offers and all kinds of different choices. So I had to narrow down my search just a little bit and make it a little more precise. So I put in the name brand. Bam! I got population of not only this ergonomic Wave keyboard, but also the brand that I was wanting to sell. And there, voila, I had this whole population of items that were identical to mine or similar. I was also able to see if they were relative in color, if the design layout was relative to mine, if the models were mimicking mine, or if they were similar or different, what those had that mine didn't have, or what mine offered that those did not. So you see the research, the analysis, things that take our brain just seconds, took me several seconds to say on this video. But now you get the idea of where I'm going with this. So as I go about, I'm looking to see, are these a USB? Are they plug and play? Is it wireless? What does it do that mine doesn't do? Or what does mine do that it doesn't do? And then I was able to see what they sold for. So I'm going to give you a newbie's tip that I learned along this journey. I was able to isolate that search down to see exactly how many was listed, which eBay is showing me a number at the bottom of my screen. This is how many are listed. But in that list, it also included things that were under that brand name. So this was not an accurate amount of items listed. I needed to narrow it in even more. So let me give you an example on my tablet. So here I have my tablet, and I'm going to open up my eBay account. Now, as you can see, it's really large here, and I'm already getting notifications, and I can see everything that I need to see here. But over here we have our home, which is the home page. Here is your eBay. When you open up that, you're able to see your dashboard right here, and you can select. So if you're selling or if you're shopping, different things that you can do here. You can also go to search. When you key in the search, you can type in exactly what it is you're looking for. So let's look up a keyboard. And if you just put in the raw name of keyboard, it's going to automatically populate there and talk about keyboard. And we can hit search. So we have a populated list of all these keyboards, but this is the number I wanted to show you. You see this results here, 300,000 results? Well, we put in keyboards, so we have a list of every brand you can think of is listed here. So we're going to have to narrow down our search, but there are a few things that I want to share with you on this. Right here on this 300,000 results, if we take and move it up, we now have a sorter and filter. If we touch that, we get this whole other menu. And right here, where it says show more, if you'll click that, we've got anything from shipping options to returns accepted, authorized seller, and right here are the key ones I want you to see. These sold items and completed items. If I go over here and I toggle this, I now will get this number, 66,000 plus results. And if I touch that, all of these now have green numbers. See, the price is in green. Well, the reason why is that's what that item sold for. It's also going to show you any discounts that it may have. It's also going to show if it was free shipping. It'll tell you all the details, and it'll even tell you the date it sold. And this will be populated too. So you could use that to accurately decide if your keyboard, if it's listed, what it sold for, when it sold, how recent, and give you an idea of what you could use as your asking price when you list your item. So this one is Bluetooth wireless. Here we have Apple Magic Mouse. We have so many options. There's tons and tons to look at. And we can narrow our search even more. If we go back up here to keyboard and we want to add to that keyboard search, we do our search again and we say we want let's go with the one that I had, which is Microsoft. I'm also going to add in there ergonomic. And now I'm going to hit my search again and see. Now I have this populated list. And this looks like one like I have. But this one is a Bluetooth, English, UK, and USA also compatible. So here we have, this is listed under sponsor. It also shows that 50 of those sold for free shipping, and this is the price that they're asking. This is a current listing. See how it's in white on this dark panel? Those are still listed. Down here, we have one that was previously owned, and it shows me the model number, that it's been tested, it's used. All that is significant information. And then we have the price, and it also gives me a best offer option, free shipping, and this one is also being listed by a seller because they have a sale going on. Save up to 6% when you buy more, and this is the last one. So what you could do is you could put a star there, and when you tap the heart, that goes into your watch list. Okay, so maybe you're doing it for comps. eBay has new features now, so this seller may see that and they may send me an offer for something a little bit cheaper of a price, thinking that I want to purchase it. Another thing that you can do is you can tap this listing. It tells you all the information about it, who is selling it, and this is key whenever you're a new seller. Whether you're just doing this amateurly or considering being a reseller. Pictures are significant. Most important, make sure you have plenty of pictures and you're showing your item. Make sure you accurately describe it and make sure that you've really decided on your price as well as your shipping. But this is what's also a bonus. You can do this on your cell phone, tablet, or your PC. When we go down through this list, if we have put a heart, I want you to pay attention right here. I'm going to touch the heart here on the screen. See how that said add to your list. So you can now touch that add to list and you can create your own list. Here's one already set for research. When you do that, it's supposed to let eBay know that you're researching this item and it will not execute a request from the seller to send you an offer. So those are things that you can do. So if you're doing your research, then you can use your own list. You can also remove it. Let's say you don't want to look at that one anymore and it's not necessary. So those are a few things you can do. Here's the other thing you can do. If we scroll down this page, we're going to get listings of lots, but I want you to keep going. Here's all the reseller information, the shipping, and all the different ways that they can pay. The eBay money back guarantee. You can read up on that if you want to. You can touch it and go over there and you can find out information about that. That's always available to you. But if we go further down, we can find out the ratings on this seller. And this is going to be important for you because eBay measures the seller's feedback because it's based on the buyer's merit. And that is what you really want to strive to have good ratings because this will determine whether you get paid and when you get paid. Now we see all the feedback if we want to. Now eBay has that financing. But this is what I want you to see. You have to go further way down on that page. But see this sell one like this? You can actually click on this. And when you do, eBay is going to set this up. And you are now ready to sell an item similar to the one that you were thinking about. You'll be able to go in here and change the title. This does not affect the seller that's selling this item. You are basically cloning their listing. You do need to make the appropriate changes, but because this is already categorized with keyboards and in the right category, you don't have to worry about that extra detail. You'll also be able to elect, is it used, is it new, is it an open box, or is it a non-working item that you're selling for parts only. You'll be able to put item specifics. This is very, very important when you're listing an item. I cannot express to you how important this is. Here's another thing. Say you're not a good at literature and you don't like writing, maybe you don't spell well. Here's the description, and it is now set up with the new AI system. So you can touch that and you can press the use AI and it will start creating you a description. And what I recommend is go in here and modify this, make necessary changes so that it applies to the item you're selling. You don't have to go with the AI description rawly, and I recommend that you don't, because if you pre-read this, you will find some details in this AI description that aren't necessarily accurate with your particular item. So this is significant in making those changes and proofreading it and modifying it to suit your listings. So that's already showing that it's done, and I can delete that if I wanted to. You can also turn off the AI by hitting the X. Here is the pricing tool I told you about. When you click on this, you got your buy now feature. You can put in the amount, and then right here on the buy now settings, allow offers quantity 1 or schedule your listings. You're going to love these features. You can put in the minimum amount. You can toggle the allow offers on and off if you like. So you can turn that completely off if you don't want to allow any offers. You can turn that on and allow offers. These are very important. Scheduling the listings. Now, let's say you knew of an item out in the garage and you wanted to list it, and you found all the information. You've done the comparison, you figured out the price, you've got all that, but you don't have photographs. Maybe it's going to be the next day after supper before you can get that, or maybe when you come in from work. So you can toggle this on, and I'm having a bit of a oh, it wants me to put a minimum in there. It wants me to do the pricing before I do that, but you can schedule it to do at a later date. So let me go ahead and do a generic on this. Let me put in a dollar amount here. Let's put in $25. All right, now I can go over here to buy now. I can put in a minimum offer if I want to. Let's say I only want $20. Oops, too much. And there it goes. It's an online onboard tutorial, so it's going to help you. Okay, now I've got one of them. Now I can schedule a time. So let's say I don't want this to pop up there and list it just yet. Maybe I want to change it to Tuesday, and maybe I want to do it or later in the evening. I want to do 6:30 p.m. Okay, and then I click done. So now it's got all that information there. It's got all the low price, and I can back that out. Now, you have all of your listings. Now, here is what I was telling you about, what's so important, the shipping. Now you have so many options here. Shipping to USA is toggled on. The packaging, how big it is. This is important. Make sure you weigh it. Be accurate. Consider the box that you're putting it in, the packaging you're putting in, the poly mail or whatever you're mailing it in. Consider the weight of it and make sure you adjust this accordingly. Make sure that you put accurate measurements. These are extremely important. Get you a ruler and have it ready. And then you can also select these options. Here's the cost. Now, you have options. You can use USPS, you can use FedEx, and you can use UPS. So you have options here. You've got standard, you've got DGM Smart Mail Expedite. You've got expedited services. Let's say you want to send it priority mail and flat rate. There are so many options. 1-day services, and so on and so forth, including freight. For flat rate, you can also do that for people who do really, really large things. All these are available to you. So, economy services. Pay attention to which one you select. Here, you're going to decide, are you going to offer free shipping? Is it going to be a buyer's pay calculated shipping? Are you going to do a flat rate shipping for the buyer? Maybe you just want to charge a set fee of shipping it for $7 and you're done. There are options. So there is nothing for you to be afraid of. It is all available. Here is a new feature that eBay offers, local pickup. So let's say that you are in North Carolina, such as me, and people happen to know you locally, and maybe they know you have a yard sale or two, and now it's cold weather and you're going to list some things. You can do it for pickup, and then they don't get charged any shipping. So if they purchase through eBay, securely paid, they can then pick it up locally. So it gives, a pretty much accurate city and state and the zip code. they can kind of get in the general vicinity. This requires a code. So if you decide to do local pickup, the individual, once they purchase it, they will get a code that they have to provide to you to unlock this information. And then they will also have to give you that code so that you can plug it in to show eBay that they came and you have let them pick up the item and they've left with it. So those are options. So many things to decide on. Now, once you've started this is what I have to tell you. Go on down. And this promoted listings, that's something you can do at a later date. Don't even think about this as a new seller. Do not even worry about this whole section. Down here, you have list it for free, and therefore you can list your item now for that scheduled date. Whenever you schedule it, you still have to click list your item, and it will come up and it'll say you have this item scheduled, and it will show the date and time that you stated. You can also do a preview so that you want to look at your listings and you could look at the pictures. Once again, if it's someone you're doing the research, it's at night, you're sitting on the couch, it's after supper, you're setting up your listings, and maybe you want to do your photographs later, you can always save for later. Now, when you go over to your selling listings, you will have items here in your draft. And here's the draft. So we have this drafted, and we can pull it back up, and we can go ahead and add the information to it. And then we can go all the way back down here again and list the item. So that gives you an idea how that works. So I have that in my drafts now. To delete this, I cannot do it from a tablet or cell phone. I would have to delete that draft from my laptop or PC. So just bear that in mind. There's no way on your app through the devices, the mobile devices such as tablet and cell phone, to remove drafts or any listings. You don't have that ability, but this just gives you an idea. So we're going to go back home here. And when you have messages such as offers that are coming through, you can hit your inbox and it'll show up there. If you're selling and you have an item that has sold, you will see it on this taskbar right here. It will show items that you need to send offers to, the promoted listings, and then adding item specific. So let's say you listed an item and eBay feels that it would be better found in the categories and somebody searching for it if you added additional specifications on it, and you can revise those listings. So you can pull the item up, and then it gives you all these specifications, and you can go through here and decide if there's anything more that you can enhance this listings to make it better easily found by someone who's inquiring and searching for it on eBay. And once you do that, you can go back out, and you would of course go back to the bottom and click revise it. And you can preview it of course to see how the customer would see it. So at this point, this is how the customer would see it. This is how those photographs are going to show up. And really truly make sure that everything looks good, and pretend that you are the person shopping with consideration of purchasing this before you let it go. Make sure that everything is accurately explained and that you have all your information in there. And then of course, you can see I have the make offer turned on. I've got the add to watch list. All that's in place. And now I could revise that listing if I made any changes or decided not to make any changes. So there are lots of tools on here that eBay now does, and to help you out, to help you sell your items, because if you make money, eBay makes money. So that is why you have this beautiful taskbar telling you what all you can do. There are other features here, like your performance. It shows how many times your listings have been shown, the listings, how many views you've gotten, how many items you've sold, the click-through rate, and then your sales conversion rate. And then, of course, down here you can see the views organically and then externally. If you were promoting on or off site, it would show that here as well. And then, of course, you can move your finger across here to find out how many views on what day and date. And of course, you can modify that to today and see what your calculations were for today. You can do it 7 days out, 30 days, 90 days, and then you can do a customized search. Since I am new to being a eBay seller, right here is my inception date, as I would call it, and I can easily go right there and see that my first listings that I put on was the October 22nd is when I put something on there. I didn't start listing it and let it go until the 23rd. And once I did, look there, I got 8 views on the first day. So I've only been at this. This is going on my 3rd week. And that's why I'm sharing it with you. Things that I've learned and things that I've become knowledgeable about. So I hope I was able to erase a lot of your fear and reservations about considering doing eBay or being a reseller, as well as just a consumer wanting to sell items on eBay, what you may or may not be getting into, and remove some of those fears that you may have and some of your reservations about it, and be able to put you at ease so that you can proceed forward. Also, what you need to keep your eye out for, what's most important, and what you will be gathering intel and learning along the way. As I demonstrated before, start out with something that you have that you are considering selling. Do the research on it, as I showed you, and then get a general idea. Also, consider the title, which is very important. There are 3 things that are most important when you are going to resell on eBay. Number 1, item. Make sure it is listed accurately describes what it is that you are selling, title it appropriately. Also make sure that the condition is very honest. Is it used or is it new? Is it in the box, out of the box? What would apply? Consider when you do online shopping yourself. What is it that you really need to know in order to make you feel better about the purchases you make? Make sure that you label and title your items accurately and that you describe their condition accurately. If it has a bad spot, if it has a stain, if there's something wrong with it, be sure that not only do you take a photograph of that, but you also accurately state that in the description. It's so important. Number 2, make sure that the item specifics, as many as you can fill out that apply to your item, fill them out. It's significant in the search pattern for eBay populating whenever someone comes onto eBay and they're looking for something. Item specifics are key to your item being found whenever someone is searching for it on eBay. Number 3, make sure that above all, that the measurements, the weight specifications for your item are accurately listed, and determine the price that it's well suited for that item. Those are most important things that you will do. Whether you write out a description or not, there are some people who do not even bother with it. There are some things that can be assumed by the photograph, and the pictures do speak a billion words on eBay. I will tell you, your photographs, the title of your item, are very significant. But if you are serious about doing other items and doing this maybe on a gradual basis and building up or diving in, that you fill out as many specifications as you possibly can. It will make or break your adventure in selling on eBay, whether you're doing it amateurly or doing it with consideration of having some kind of residual income or maybe even a full-time income. Those are things that are very important. And feedback. It's important to be pleasing to your customers. How would you want to be perceived? How would you, as a customer, want to be treated? Treat your buyers the same way. You, as a seller, are the very front door. There is no in-between guy. There's no middleman. There is no manager. And there is no one else you can pass the buck to. The buck stops with you. You are the boss and in charge of the decisions made regarding the items and your merchandise that you list and you sell. Your transaction between you and that arrival at that seller is significant. So take the extra step. Write a thank you note. Drop them a message in your eBay seller dashboard and let them know thank you for your purchase. That way you get good feedback. The feedback is going to be merit for eBay to determine your ability as a seller, if you're trustworthy, if you deserve keeping an eBay account, and how quickly you get paid. The quicker you get that item shipped out, the faster you will get paid. I do not care if you elect 2 and 3 days. That is shameful. If you get that item, if I bought an item from you today, I want it. I want it now, as quickly as I can. You're in competition with the big dogs out there. You're competing with places like Amazon and Walmart and anything that's online. They are promising that shipping very quickly. So you need to govern yourself by the same rules. And that is me telling you what to do. If I bought the item today, it needs to be ready to ship out and go to me in the morning. It needs to happen. So you may have to make some adjustments in your lifestyle and schedule. And if you're smart, once you list your item, if you are able to go ahead and put it into the per se packaging that it would be shipping in, that is going to save you a lot of time and energy. You can print your labels on an inkjet printer, laser printer. It's up to you. You do not have to dive in and buy a label printer. We'll cover more of that in other videos that I'll do. If you want additional information, be sure to follow this channel for answering your questions. Leave them in the comment box. I'll address them immediately. And bear that in mind. How do you want to be treated as a consumer? So when you're selling an item, pretend you are the person buying. How quick do you want that item? What kind of price are you looking for? What best suits your needs? And do you have to have it? Is it really important? Or is it something that's a luxury item? These are things to bear in mind. But I assure you, your success on selling on eBay and being an eBay reseller, whether amateur or professionally, are key to how quick you ship, how accurate you describe your item, keeping them in good condition, being in good standing with your customer, replying to their messages and questions immediately, and making sure that the items that you are selling are truly worthy of being resold and listed. And it's really important that you treat them as kindly as you expect to be treated yourself. Ship them immediately. Don't sit on it. Get it done right away and get them out. And give good feedback. It is so important. Your feedback can stop a person who is selling on eBay from getting paid. It really can. That feedback is significant. So you as a seller and a new lister, make sure that you're giving good feedback. Make sure that you're taking the time to respond. And when you do sell that item, it only takes a second to write a post-it note saying thank you and letting that customer know that you really appreciate them. And it doesn't matter whether you'll have another transaction with them or not. It's important how you treat them and how you want to be remembered. And they'll take the time to put in that positive feedback. That gets you paid a lot quicker with eBay. The quicker that item arrives, the quicker the system updates and reflects on your account that that person received their package, and the less probability that eBay will hold your funds for 30 days. They'll release them a lot quicker if the customer is satisfied and received their item. And the more you sell, the better you'll get at it. Until the next one, like this video, share it with someone you think would benefit that is considering selling on eBay, and subscribe to the channel for more information and tutorial videos that can be of assistance to you in your journey selling on eBay or being an eBay reseller. This is Elizabeth. Until the next one, take care and good luck.